What are you actually expecting now that we're 3 days out from the Dolphins finally kicking off the season against the Colts?
It's funny, though, because you mentioned that the Dolphins are going to be a team that a lot of people are staying away from with their televisions, too. It wasn't that long ago where this was maybe the most fun team to watch in the league, to watch offensively. And the reality of it is they got the same pieces. I mean, it's Hill and Waddle and Tua. And, okay, they don't have Mostert anymore, but Devon Achane certainly looks like he's even more fun, if we're talking about entertainment level on the field. So I don't think you're wrong that the Dolphins are not a team that people are going to be interested in, but it just strikes me as I guess interesting because, they could still be that really fun offensive team from just 2 years ago.
It's weird, too, because I look at the Dolphins' schedule, and they open at the Colts. Very winnable game, especially because everybody is likely, Tua's healthy, right? When Tua's healthy, the Dolphins can play well. So assumed health, you're at the Colts, you can win that game. The next game is versus the Patriots at home.
Yeah.
Another very winnable game. You're at Buffalo on a Thursday night football kickoff in week 3. We can go ahead and chalk that one up early. Even when the Dolphins are good in that full strength, that never works out. But then you get the Jets and the Panthers after that. So,
it's a pretty soft opening schedule.
Yeah, I mean, we could be looking 5 weeks in at the Dolphins being 4-1 with their only loss being to the Bills.
Yeah, but that's not going to be the way it shakes out.
Yeah,
for a good team, we would say, hey, you know what? Like if that was the opening schedule last year, we would say, all right, you're going to be 4-1 through these first 5 games. They're not going to be 4-1 through these first 5 games. I think if they're 3-2 in these first 5 games, you'd probably feel good about that. 4-1 is a major stretch with all the question marks, especially in the defensive secondary around this team. You can't count on them until they prove it to you. You could say a good team will roll through those first 5 opponents with 4 wins. You can't say that about the Dolphins because, you look at the first game against the Colts, say, okay, it's a very winnable game. I'm telling you, the Colts fan is looking at the opening game and saying, oh, we got the Dolphins. It's a very winnable game. They're saying the same thing.
It's funny because that is what the purgatory of the NFL is like. Like everybody in that middle ground in the NFL, they'll look at themselves in the mirror.
Like
when
both
they're
teams
looking at
won
other
8 games last year, Theo. Both teams won 8 games last year, Dolphins and Colts. And the Colts, say what you want about Daniel Jones, it's an improvement at quarterback from what they had last year.
I know. It is because last year was Flacco and Anthony Richardson.
Yeah.
So, all right. So answer me this. What's more likely to happen this season for the Miami Dolphins? Tua starts all 17 games, or Tyreek Hill is in a different uniform by the trade deadline?
It's funny, because right when you said Tua's going to start 17 games, I was going to jump and just say, whatever you're saying next. I mean, he's not going to start all 17 games.
You don't know that. It's happened before.
No, I do know that. I do know that. I do believe there is a high chance that the Dolphins wind up trading Tyreek Hill before the deadline. I could see, because I think there's a chance the Dolphins are going to be a hot mess this year.
Yeah.
If they are a hot mess, look, we saw Tyreek's character as a football player front and center at the end of last season. It was the first year of his entire career that his team didn't make the playoffs. And so the first sign of adversity, the first time that he didn't make the postseason, he literally quit on the team. So how do you think it's going to play out if they get out to a slow start this year? He's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
So I do believe that there's a high chance that he's traded before the deadline.
Is it at least good for South Florida fans that they got the Miami Hurricanes as the Dolphins look like an absolute mess?
Awesome. Yeah, it's awesome. Of course. No, it's great. It looks like you're going to have at least one of our football teams here competing for a playoff spot all season long. Like the Hurricanes, last year when the Canes missed the playoffs and Kane says, the committee, how'd they leave us out? Well, hold on to a 21-0 lead at Syracuse. That's number one. But number two, okay, let's say they would have made the playoffs. So they can get, their you-know-what kicked in at some Big Ten team in the first round of the playoffs. Like, that's what it would have been. It would have been really ugly. Well, that team that I saw this past Sunday night against Notre Dame, they would have played with anyone. Any team in the country would have come to Hard Rock Stadium that night, and the Hurricanes would have played with them. So that was very exciting.
I love the complimentary football they're able to play now that defense is shored up. They were flying to the ball. It was amazing to see. I'm glad that the Hurricanes have a formidable squad. But back to the NFL side of things, if you're saying it's going to be a hot mess And you're also saying there's a chance that Tyreek Hill is in another uniform by the trade deadline. What say you to the future of Mike McDaniel, who I still believe to be a good play caller and an offensive mind, but damn, has it been looking bad?
Yeah, if they miss the playoffs this year, they're going to fire him. Like I don't think that he gets fired mid-season, no matter how bad it gets. That just hasn't been Stephen Ross's MO. But if they miss the playoffs this year, yeah, I don't know that Chris Greer would be going anywhere because Stephen Ross, he's in his 80s, and you're talking about like a full-on reset. That's I don't think he's here for that, all right? So I don't think Chris Greer goes anywhere, especially considering how long he's been with the franchise and the lack of winning that's also come along with it. But if the Dolphins don't make the playoffs this year, I mean, Mike McDaniel's going to be fired, yeah.
And Zaz, one last thing from you as we talk Miami Dolphins getting ready for the 2025 NFL season. There's a lot of people who want to know what can Jalen Waddle actually be this year.
Yeah.
He's performed well when Tua starting. He's had his own injury concerns as well, but there's been a lot of hype around him through the offseason and through training camp. Do you think that's a guy that actually can burst out onto the scene and show you more flashes of what he did his rookie season?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't that long ago where we were talking about Jalen Waddle as a number one on most teams in the league. Now, I don't necessarily know about that at this point, but this is a really good player. And if depending on what kind of changes Mike McDaniel made this offseason, because, defenses certainly seemed like this past season they had really caught up to what the Dolphins were doing offensively. So I don't like to go to the whole coaches, adjustments, that kind of deal. It's a super lazy thing that people in the media, that fans will hold on to. I don't know what adjustments are being made and not made because I'm not there. I'm not in that locker room. It's quite possible the coach makes adjustments and the players just don't carry them out. Yeah. But we'll sit here and be like, oh, coach didn't make adjustments. Well, how do you know that? But I would have to think that you had an entire offseason to change some things, and I would have to imagine that's going to be beneficial to a guy like Jalen Waddle as well.
How can people learn more, hear more, experience more of Zaslow Show 2.0 on your Miami sports takes?
Yeah, well, obviously, college football tailgate, we debuted last weekend on ESPN Radio, so that's every Saturday morning, including on ESPN West Palm 104.3 FM, every Saturday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern time. We're coming at you from Dallas, Texas this weekend, me and the great Amber Wilson. We have SMU and Baylor, so that is this Saturday. It's not a great college football slate this weekend. Like, the top game is obviously Oklahoma, Michigan, but SMU Baylor, I think it's going to be a pretty good game.
Oh, yeah.
So we're there for that, 10 a.m. Eastern time, 10 to noon. We got you covered with college football tailgate, and that's every Saturday. And, yeah, Zaslow Show 2.0. Please download everything 305, everything Miami related. We got you covered wherever you get your podcasts. Just search. You got Zaslow Show 2.0. And every episode is presented by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. 800-747-FREE. 800-747-3733. Title sponsor of everything Zaslow Show 2.0.